Hey guys, and welcome to another Koibu's Corner. Today we're going to be talking about 5th edition and if it's the right system for you. So this is a really big topic and there's no way we can discuss everything in a single chat. So I'm going to try and condense things into the most fundamental concepts. Ready? Here we go. First, let's talk about people who are new to D&D or new to RPGs in general. 5th edition tries to distill that core D&D feeling, which you probably don't know but are striving for, into a more simple rule set, and it does a damn fine job. Unlike 4th edition, which was just pen and paper, wow, 5th edition stays true to the heart of D&D, giving the players to do the freedom of whatever they want. The rules are broad enough that they cover just about anything you might need without getting so detailed as to be confusing. Of course, you can't cover every conceivable situation, but it gets you close enough that a half-decent DM should be able to figure out a way to make it work. For your new player, this is a great system to use to get into pen and paper RPGs. What about the experienced players? Well, to answer this, we're going to have to divide people into two camps. Those that love to argue and nitpick the little details, and those who just want to keep the story moving. In the former case, you're going to find yourself enjoying the new abilities of monsters, legendary actions, lair actions, that sort of thing, but you're probably going to get frustrated at the lack of detailed combat bonuses and stuff. You might dislike the lack of weapon specialization, but you'll probably find yourself impressed with the wizard school specialization, stuff like that. There's some areas where you're better off just not looking too closely because the effects are covered under the "it's just magic, don't worry about it" rule, instead of having a particular clearly defined spell working in the background. Overall, if you're a player or a DM who really loves the nuts and bolts, this probably isn't the system for you. It's not a terrible choice, but, 2nd edition would be better. Now, if you're an experienced player who's tired of your friends bitching about shit and you just kind of want to play the game, and you're coming from a complicated system, which most things are going to be compared to this is going to feel like a breath of fresh air. Stats have been simplified to the point where everything kind of keys off the main stat or its corresponding ability modifier. No more having to look up how much you can carry without being encumbered, just multiply your strength by 5. No more THAC0, no more melee adjust versus missile adjust, no more having to sit around for a month healing. Everything is streamlined for play. Combat's been stripped down to its basics too. Everything is clear cut with what you can and cannot do, but still flexible enough that you can be creative. Rather than trying to lawyer specific bonuses for positioning, you try and lawyer what they call advantage. Now, the concept of advantage is fantastic in its simplicity. If you have advantage, you just roll 2d20s and pick the better result, and then add your modifiers. For example, if you're on high ground with a spear while someone's trying to climb up the cliff to fight you and they've got a short sword in their hand, you used to do something along the lines of this. You get a +1 to high ground for spear, they get a penalty of 2 for climbing, and then a penalty of 2 for climbing while holding a weapon in their hand, but then you get a penalty of like 1 to 3, depending on your DM, to hit them because you're using a piercing weapon, thrusting at just a head and shoulders, which is a much smaller target than a person, so you could consider them theoretically up to like 90% cover, which actually is like a -5 to hit. No, none of that shit. If you're above them and they're climbing up the hill or climbing up this cliff to face you in this situation, you just have advantage, and they have disadvantage in the combat. It's really simple, and you just have to argue your way into advantage, which it shouldn't be too hard. Of course, disadvantage is the opposite, where you roll 2d20s and you take the lower of the two rather than taking the higher of the two. 5e is a really fantastic tool if you're just in it for the storytelling. Lastly, this brings us to our divide of players, our final divide of players, the gritty players versus the fantastical players. If you want to play a down and dirty campaign that tries to reflect the real world or real combat in some way, this is not the system for you at all. You're going to hate how everyone heals 100% of their HP every night or every long rest, or how you can gain a ton of HP during your short rests, which are like an hour long. You're going to despise how much magical effects and abilities come into play for what you might think are non-magical classes. Barbarians, rangers, rogues, and even the standard fighter classes either have outright magical abilities or abilities that are so fantastic as to make you cross your arms and say, what the fuck? Oh, and if you don't roll your characters with 40-61 and then increase your stats as you level up, you're pretty much screwed. The system's designed for PCs to have exceptional stats, and you pretty much need to start with at least 116 or you're fucked. However, if you like Fantastic Worlds, where you suspend your disbelief as you play, you're going to do all right. Well, that about wraps it up. I hope this helps you decide if 5th edition is right for you or not. If you're in doubt and can't make up your mind, the PHB is all you need to play. It includes some monster stats, and it's not too big of an investment, so I recommend grabbing a copy and just checking it out. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe if you want some more D&D content. Good luck, have fun, and see you next time.